Hello. This is an update I've only just found out about since since I did the last video. The last video was about Ukraine's participation in the Eurovision this year, or their intended at the time participation in the Eurovision this year, and how they were struggling to find a participant willing to take part. At the time, I had not received the very latest news, which I'm about to reveal now. At the time, it was still believed that Ukraine were going to take part in the Eurovision this year, but they were struggling to find somebody willing to go and represent Ukraine in the Eurovision. I have only just recently found out, since I actually made the last video, that Ukraine has now decided not to take part at all in the Eurovision this year. This is pretty much breaking news. I don't know if they intend to broadcast it even in their country, if they intend to, even though they're not going to take part. I don't know if they may change their mind at the last minute. This is breaking news. But at the moment, they have released a statement saying that they do not intend to take part in Eurovision this year because, from what I can understand, they feel let down by how they perceive the traitorous music industry in Ukraine. From what I can understand, they feel that Ukrainian singers aren't patriotic enough and support Russia. As a country, they're willing to tour Russia and perform in Russia, and they've said that some people in Ukraine consider that's just a fact of life, that's just business, and they're perfectly happy to accept that some Ukrainian singers are willing to support Russia in terms of concerts and things. Others believe that they say that others in Ukraine feel uncomfortable about what they perceive to be unpatriotic behaviour by the singers because they think that they see Russia as an enemy in some way, almost like it was during the Second World War or something, and they think that Ukrainian singers should not support Russia in any way. They should not tour there, they should not turn up there, and they should just boycott there altogether and say nasty things about Russia and the Russian government. I think it's a shame it's come to this. I said so in the last video, but now I've found out they intend to pull out. I'm even more disappointed. I think it's a shame. I think it'd be far better if, Russia and Ukraine could just get along better and end all this rubbish, particularly over music. It's not as if it's, being discussed at top level, political level, and we're dealing with top level politicians. They're just singers that want to entertain people. So hopefully, perhaps next year they will have overcome this rubbish and just let singers go and perform songs and not get involved in politics and not care where they performed before. And hopefully they can end all this nonsense and just get along, produce some songs that people like, hopefully, and perform them and try and win again. Because they perform songs that people like at Eurovision. Hopefully it won't lead to them leaving Eurovision permanently or for several years. Hopefully it won't lead to some sort of boycott of it. It's a shame, but that's what's happened. I'd rather hope this nonsense had ended when, there was the incident a couple of years ago when Russia pulled out because of politics between Ukraine and Russia over, a disabled singer from Russia wanting to perform in the Eurovision when it was taking part in Ukraine. Now it seems that Ukraine is the one that's boycotting the Eurovision. It's a shame. Hopefully they'll both grow up, and perhaps one day Russia and Ukraine could be friendly with each other again. After all, they were friendly for many, many years, especially during the Soviet time. They have more in common, I believe, there's more in common, I believe, between Russia and Ukraine than there ever will be, probably, between somewhere like Ukraine and maybe, I don't know, Germany or France. I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe not Germany so much, because half of Germany used to be Eastern European. But you understand my point. I think that Ukraine's probably got more in common with Russia than they probably have got with, you know, very Western countries, even though I know a lot of Ukrainians would rather it be a part of the EU than have anything to do with Russia. But as I said, it's all politics, which I hope will be resolved within a year, and hopefully Ukraine will come back next year with a decent song and take part, and a decent singer and take part and try and win, and not and put all this political nonsense behind them. As I said, this is breaking news. I've only just found this out recently. I did not know this when I made the last video, which I know I made earlier today, so this is an update for that. You know, and as I said, I'm just disappointed as a Eurovision fan, but there you go. Okay, thanks for watching. Sorry if you were bored by this, and goodbye.